Hey everybody, welcome to the first of hopefully many TV/movie reviews we're going to do here on this channel. I'll have to come up with like some kind of clever name or something like that for our playlist going forward. Big Bluecast, like real reviews or something like that. But yeah, we're gonna kind of kick off the real off season as far as like the major football, basketball sports go with Kentucky, and we're going to dive into our first movie review today. Um, Today's going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League, which came out on HBO Max and I guess in theaters this past Thursday. So this is a pretty fresh one. I guess just what should we just kind of recap a little backstory on how all this came to be because it is quite a story as to how all this kind of came to fruition, right?
Right?
Like for those that first of all, if you manage to kind of get through the past several years having never seen Josh Whedon's version of Justice League, good job. You did the right thing. But yeah, like this was supposed to come out. Zack Snyder's version was supposed to come out what 2017, and they were making Justice League after the Batman v Superman movie, which did like okay critical reception wise and everything. So they greenlight Justice League. It's also Zack Snyder's kind of like second thing with all this. He comes in, he does like 80% of like his version of the movie. Then he has like a family sort of emergency, like health crisis sort of thing. So he has to just drop out of the movie altogether. So the studio comes in, they bring in Josh Whedon to come in and finish the movie out, but they also send him in with the intention of like making changes that the studio wanted that I guess Zack Snyder didn't want to make and was pushing back on. They came in and said do all this stuff. They had him like rewrite a bunch of stuff. Him and some other guy came in and like rewrote a bunch of stuff to the script. They changed a lot of the cinematography and everything. Part of that was also because the studio wanted him to do rewrites that would cut down on the length to get it down to like 2 hours. So it turned out being this kind of Frankenstein monster that was cobbled together, just like different people's work and everything. It was kind of a mismatched mess. I mean, you agree with me? It was pretty terrible, right?
It
Like,
was awful.
I mean, just stupid stuff. They brought in like Henry Cavill to do reshoots on certain things, and he had a mustache for another movie that he was doing at the time, and refused to shave the thing. So they actually CGI'd the mustache off of him, and it just looked really fake and weird whenever he talked, really creepy. Just stuff like that. It made no sense. I've always wondered whenever I read about that kind of stuff, like what it would be like to just be working on the set of that movie and you see big muscly Superman Henry Cavill walking in the full gear, but he's also got like a Tom Selleck mustache. Like I don't know how you could possibly take that seriously, but alas, that's pretty much what that movie was. So then you fast forward, and it turns out like Zack Snyder makes it known that they didn't just like torch all of his original stuff, original footage, because they only used like 20 or 30 minutes of his original stuff, like in Joss Whedon's version. They reshot everything else. So it turns out he still has all the original copies of his stuff, and it's almost complete. There's big like fan outpouring for several years saying we want the Snyder cut. It'd be so much better, and then they can keep doing more movies. Um, Finally, whenever WB and HBO Max come to their deal, where this year, they're releasing everything simultaneously, like on HBO Max and in theaters. Then we get to they finally say, okay, they give him a budget to finish his, they'll put it out on HBO Max, and it finally came out this past Thursday. I mean, that was probably a huge, drastic oversimplification, but just for anybody that's not familiar with kind of the weird sort of backstory to all this, kind of unique. It's somewhat important to understand. Like this is years in the making. Like I guess just put simply, like what did you think? Like, did you think that this movie was like a huge, like drastic improvement from like the original theatrical cut?
Yes. I actually sat there the day before the Zack Snyder version came out and rewatched the original Justice League, and it was not a movie that I would put on my rewatch list. So I definitely felt like Warner Brothers owed me some money for sitting through that a second time.
Again.
But at the same time, I'm glad I did because it gave me a refresher of everything that I disliked about that movie.
Right.
And then when I watched the new cut, I was like, wow. I think I'd have been blown away either way about how much better the Snyder version was.
Yeah.
But I had more appreciation for it because it hasn't been 3 years since I've watched the movie.
Right. Yeah. I still haven't watched. I watched the original one again because I knew this was coming. I watched it again probably like a month ago. So I mean, like somewhat fresh to me, but not nearly as like if you kind of just watched them like one day and one the other. I mean, like there's obviously some big things that kind of stick out, like just some of the special effects and like CGI and everything looking better in the Snyder cut because they actually took the time to like finish it and make it not just look like something that hadn't finished rendering on the computer yet.
Yeah, and there were so many things they left out of scenes. Um, and I really noticed it a lot because, like I said, it was literally fresh in my mind from the day before. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this scene makes a lot more sense now than their shortened, butchered version that they decided to leave in.
And that's when I was watching it because we kind of talked about it. You watched it a day before I did, and you were kind of tipping me off. Like here are some of the things that seem like are evidently that are different. Like you said, it seemed like they added just like snippets and little things into scenes that existed in the first one, but as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, here's some of the stuff that like they just kind of tried to like trim the fat off so they could reduce the length of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a huge disservice to the theatrical version because stuff just made no sense. Or did there, things
Too
just
many
didn't make
plot
sense.
holes, you know.
Yeah, like unanswered things, things that just made no sense. Something I noticed too, and I remember this from the last time I viewed the original a while back, but to me it seemed like they did a good job of like in Zack Snyder's there wasn't as much like kind of lame humor and stuff. I feel like there were a lot of like cheap jokes and stuff like that in Josh Whedon's version that were just out of place for like the tone
Mm-hmm.
of what the new one ended up being, if that makes sense. Like times that either like Batman or Superman would make some kind of quip and it's just like that doesn't work for this. Like that works in a Marvel movie. It
Yeah.
doesn't work in this.
No, it's too dark. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, even if
Um
you go to like the end game, the whole idea of comedy in that movie was non-existent. There really wasn't any comedy, and
no.
when you got a dark movie, I know a lot of people don't like it, but the only thing you can get by with is graveside humor.
Yeah, like I said, even in Endgame, like the times that they did try to do like the typical like MCU kind of humor stuff, it was different and everything landed differently, and I thought that was important
Mm-hmm.
because even things that were kind of quippy, it was still like a more heartfelt sort of thing. Like it wasn't just something funny for the sake of being funny because it didn't make sense like in the story they were telling. And yeah, especially in Zack Snyder's version, it's like okay, this makes a whole lot more sense. Like, because the tone that for me that is one thing that I really liked about this is it wasn't just them trying to copy the best things about like the MCU movies, kind of pick up off of their success with everything they've done. Like it definitely made Zack Snyder's stuff stand out, kind of like Watchmen or 300, kind of his style, all the slow shots and everything else. But like it stands on its own. It doesn't just look like the 25th like superhero movie that's come out in the last 10 years
Mm-hmm.
that are all like very similar. Like this was kind of its own animal. Um, like we did talk about this a little bit. It's interesting. They did shoot the movie in that really interesting aspect ratio. That bugged me for the first like 10 minutes or so. I'm just like, great, like that and that on my screen are just like chopped off. Awesome. But
Yeah, I was like, why are you putting this in 4:3? That format is so obsolete. Like, even if you look like HBO right now and you go to their HD remaster of Babylon 5, which I forgot how bad the graphics were in that. Being 90 like 6, it makes sense, but that's even in widescreen. Like they have reformatted it to widescreen.
Yeah.
Uh
I tried to read up stuff on that, like what his reasoning was behind that. I mean, there's different things kind of thrown out there about like, oh, he thought that that aspect ratio would kind of capture these like stoic heroes and stuff in like a better way and all that. Whatever. Okay. I was used to it by the time we were like really kind of getting into the meat and potatoes of the movie, but yeah, at first,
well, in the action scenes, I really missed it.
yeah,
Like just the dialogue scenes, it didn't bother me too much. But when we got to
yeah,
the action scenes, it's like I want the widescreen.
yeah. Like your mind's eyes like trying to push those little blocks out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I get it's in the IMAX format because IMAX is so big they don't do widescreen because it would be just way too gargantuan at that point. But yeah, you'd never be able to see it all. But let's face it, IMAX died for a reason. Um,
Yeah,
and that's the reason because people are like, hey, I want to see everything. I don't want to watch four. You know, it's cool seeing this big of a screen, but I want to see more. I want to see more of the action. Because if you watch like Marvel or any other movies, there's little tidbits of stuff you'll catch in the background going on,
oh yeah,
and sometimes you'll miss it, and then somebody will point it out. And I'm like, oh, I missed that. Holy crap!
yeah. That's one thing about the Marvel movies that makes them as rewatchable as they are. Is like you can count on if you've already seen it and you're just paying attention for stuff you've missed. There's stuff there,
Mm-hmm.
or you'll find little Easter eggs and stuff that hint towards something in the future. Like they've always done a really good job with that.
Yeah,
And
just
you mentioned
planting little eggs here and there.
yeah, yeah, things that like maybe a few years from now, another movie comes back out and you look back and you're like, huh, well, that happened. Now, something that occurred to me that I was not expecting to come from this, even like under the pretense that I would end up enjoying it as much as I did. Like, I don't hate Ben Affleck's Batman anymore. Like, how do you
No.
feel about all of like his stuff by the time all this is
Okay.
over?
Yeah, he was still an old, tired Batman, right?
Yeah,
Um, let's face it, mid 40s Batman cannot move around like 20s or 30s Batman. And he's old and he's tired. He's been fighting crime in Gotham for 20 years. He's tired, right? And then he's a little bit of a recluse as far as working with other people as Batman. As Bruce Wayne, he's fine. But as Batman working with other people, that's not his game. So you could tell he wasn't in his comfort zone, but neither was
right.
Wonder Woman, neither was
Nobody was.
Aquaman,
Yeah,
neither was nobody. None of the superheroes were all out of their element except for the Flash because he's a kid.
right. He was just like
And
excited to be there.
yeah, and but this version of Bruce, instead of just being a hateful, bitter jerk, he was more of just the I'm tired. This is what we've got to do. We got to make it happen.
Yeah,
And I
and he's just
liked,
kind of putting it on himself,
yeah, it was like in the Whedon version, he was doing everything he could to break the group up that he just put together.
like I have to do this.
I mean,
Yeah, like he's self sabotaging the ragtag group that he assembled himself
in
around.
this one here, you know, he's allowing others to use their strengths to help keep it together. He's using Diana, Wonder Woman. He's using her ability to interact with people to help keep the group together. He knows that's not his thing,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, he's not being an unappreciative jerk about it either.
Right. Yeah, that was my thing with Batman v Superman. That was like one of the, I mean, obviously there were really stupid things they did with his version of Batman anyway, like the microphone and the cow and all that. I mean, like it was really stupid.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff that just didn't really work, and people were upset because, like, you see him drinking wine, he's supposed to be a teetotaler, you see him killing people. Like, unless there's an explanation, he's not supposed to do that. So, like, what is going on here? But also, like you said, just the fact that, and that's typically his thing. Like when he's involved with the other heroes across different mediums, is like he doesn't really play well with others, and he does better just kind of working on his own. kind of does what he has to do to make it work, working with other people. But yeah, like in that movie, they messed up with that by he kind of went beyond just like being cynical and grumpy, like the jaded like employee just like waiting on a pension or something, just like I hate being here and like I don't want anything to do with any of this. Like he was just like a grumpy, like wouldn't listen to anybody kind of jerk about everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
Josh Whedon like it kind of piggybacked off that, and it kind of just kept that going. And I felt like with Zack Snyder's Justice League, is like he acknowledged all the criticisms of how he presented Batman in his first movie, and then just fixed it. Like he fixed a lot of stuff and made it work, and it was a lot more enjoyable. Like the fact that
Well, he kind of portrayed it as
yeah,
okay, Bruce Wayne seeing what Superman had done to the city and seeing all those people that were killed in the aftermath of
yeah,
the battle, um, decided that Superman needed to go. He had become too egotistical,
yeah.
and
He was
yet,
just too dangerous.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
too
like
dangerous, you know.
something
And
that can a person who can level a whole city. Like
yeah,
we gotta get rid of that.
yeah, we're talking about, like I said, hundreds of people got killed, but he's still a superhero, right? Um,
Right.
due to his actions, and he's still a
Yeah.
superhero. Nobody goes after him, but they praise him. But I get that, but with the Justice League, I think what Snyder did was say, okay, Batman realized he was wrong about the world not needing Superman. He's bit that bullet. He's been humbled by it to a degree,
Right.
and realized he's made a mistake, and is kind of getting back to being the just old, tired Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And by that point, like the stakes have changed.
Mm.
Like he's gotten to the point where he realizes, like, okay, I've got to go find some other people to help me because bad stuff's going to be coming. And we got to be ready. And he, like that's one of the scenes that was different that I thought was so much like just so much better and kind of encapsulated the whole situation was when they were making that decision to resurrect Superman. And he's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much just saying flat out, like, I mean, this is it. Like, we can't accomplish this if he's not here. It's like we're just gonna have to go do this. I know I'm the guy who didn't want him around, but guess what?
Yeah. And for the people that were complaining, like, oh, Batman using guns, he never uses guns. I'm like, look at any of the comics, look at any of the old cartoons. All the Batman's weapon vehicles had weapon systems on them. Every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a especially when it's not just like detective in the shadow neo noir style Batman. It's like guy helping Superman take on Doomsday or whatever. It's like yeah, I can kind of understand why he'd have fire. Like, what else is he gonna
Yeah.
do?
Well, I mean, let's face it, when Batman was taking on Bane, he had rockets and stuff he used to take down
Oh yeah,
different things. I mean, he used the tools he needs and nothing more.
Christian Bale's Batman had a lot more firepower than this one.
Yes. Yeah, Christian Bale's
His
Batman had
was
a
crazy.
lot.
Like,
But he
talk
needed it.
about leveling. Yeah, I mean, it made sense.
Yeah, it made sense. When Batman doesn't need it, he doesn't use it. But when he needs it, he goes and gets it.
Um, yeah, I really enjoy like we kind of already touched on like I really enjoyed the action scenes and stuff like that. Even when they showed like the fight scenes from yesteryear, like the Amazons and Atlanteans and all them were taking on Darkseid and his people. Like all that was just better. I thought the scene where Steppenwolf came and like basically beat the crap out of all and killed most of the Amazon women and like took the mother box and like that was a ton better. It was like one of the better action scenes in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
But just having that like typical like Zack Snyder, like I said, like Watchmen like 300 sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
I was just like, this makes sense. Like I like this. This makes so much more sense. Um, yeah, we saw some little things dropped in there, like things to come. Like we saw the Flash demonstrate his ability to like turn back time, and the fact that he can like alter time, and all this multiverse stuff they're going to jump into. It's like okay, I guess that's where they're headed with that. I don't know. At this point, do you think that like Justice League 2 and Justice League 3 will ever actually get made, or you think like Warner Brothers will just say,
Well, here's the problem. They already burned the bridge with Henry Cavill, and that's going to be hard to replace.
yeah,
Um,
that's the thing.
they and their version of Glitter Boy sitting there being Batman is not playing out too well for them right now. Uh,
That's the biggest thing with the DC like extended universe stuff is like they just keep jumping around to like how the whole thing is going to play out, how it's going to be structured. Because they talk like no, it's going to be like DC's version of the MCU. Everything's going to be tied together. It's all going to be one deal. Then that started messing up. Like Justice League flopped.
we've got two
This
different Joker actors.
they're going to do roll out like two different. They're still going to be rolling with that. Like I've seen stuff say Joaquin Phoenix could still be involved in like a new movie. They're talking about bringing Michael Keaton's Batman back and like a multiverse kind of crossover with the Flash.
Which would be cool.
Apparently, yeah, I mean that'd be really neat. Apparently,
And
they're
that
still
may be
working.
how they expand the Justice League too.
Yeah, that's what they said. Like now, instead of like after Justice League failed in theaters, like did bad, and they decided to like switch gears. Then they said like they were going to change things around so like it'd be more based on like standalone movies, and it wouldn't necessarily just be this like big like all intertwining sort of thing. Then Ben Affleck, like, he was supposed to be doing like the standalone Batman movie. He
Mm-hmm.
stepped away from that to get Robert Pattinson to do it.
Well, he didn't
Now,
really step away willingly. As
they
far
were
as
thinking
Ben.
like, yeah, because they were like, he was supposed to be like writer, executive producer, I think maybe even director of the whole thing.
Yeah, but his little stint to rehab kind of messed that up, you
Well, yeah, yeah.
know.
I mean, that screwed everything up. But like before all that, they pretty much canned him
Hmm.
from all these other roles and said
Mm-hmm.
like we just like they went ahead and grabbed another like director and like a new writing team and said like he could still produce, I think, but they really just wanted him to act. Didn't want like because I guess the script that he came up with at first like just wasn't really what they wanted. And they're like, no, you can just like act, and we'll let these guys take care of the rest. And then the whole rehab thing. Because I know they said that's one reason why he's been very reluctant to get involved like in like Justice League reshoots or anything else. Is because he said just like being involved in those movies while he was like kind of sent him off the deep end in terms of his sobriety and everything. So he's like, I really don't want to just get involved in that again, which I can understand. But so now I guess like they're also trying to look at this whole like multiverse sort of idea. So we'll have like potentially his Batman involved and Michael Keaton's, Robert Pattinson's. We'll see how that turns out. It doesn't sound like production on that was going that great.
No, I see at some point them pulling the plug and saying we've already wasted too much money here.
Yeah, well, see, I think I've seen something a week or two ago indicating like they finally wrapped shooting.
Oh,
So, so that should they showed whoever Matt Reeves who's directing had put out like on Twitter or Instagram or something a picture of like the cue card saying like last day of shooting and stuff. I thought, well, at least that should like get things moving in a better direction. Like not, I think they talked like Pattinson's just been like really difficult throughout the whole process and hasn't really been what they had hoped. I guess. So,
well, when you take somebody that looks like they're anorexic and try to make them Batman, it's probably not going to work out too well.
yeah, I think they said he showed up and he was even just kind of like thin, like frame, but kind of like chubby and stuff, and just out of shape, and was just like the exact opposite of what you would want someone playing Batman to be. So like they sent him home and said we'll start up again like later on, just crazy. Like it sounded like production's just been absurd for this movie, and that's the last thing that like Warner Brothers needs is another like debacle in terms of one of their movies. But oh well, I guess that comes out in about a year, and we'll see. Like overall for Zack Snyder's Justice League, would you give this a pretty like hard recommendation?
If you haven't watched it, watch it for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised, like I was telling you the other day, that Warner Brothers doesn't release a widescreen format of it straight to like Blu-ray. You know, not straight to
Yeah,
streaming, but straight to Blu-ray or to purchase digitally or something like that to try to milk some more money out of it, and like I told you, I'll probably purchase it if it does.
Is that good? Yeah, I would definitely recommend it, especially anybody that, even if you're not like a huge fan of like the Marvel stuff, or you just watched a superhero movie here and there back in like the 2000s or 90s, and you're fine with those kind of movies, like definitely watch this one. It's good. So much better. It's a shame we didn't have this one from the beginning. Because I think like Warner Brothers from DC Universe would be in a whole different spot if this had come out like 4 years ago.
We would be talking about okay, thanks to COVID, when's Justice League 2 coming out?
Yeah, that would be the thing. I'd say like I know 2021 is supposed to be the only year that they're doing this like either straight to streaming or simultaneous like theaters and streaming on HBO Max. They said once 2022 comes around, like that whole slate of movies for the year, they're going back to
Traditional, yeah.
yeah, releasing in theaters for at least like a month or something. So yeah, that's probably where we'd be right now. We'd be saying, Justice League 2 is supposed to be coming out. Like, are they gonna waste it on HBO Max and not put it out? Like, kind of how Marvel's dealing with, do we put stuff out just on Disney Plus or put it in theaters? And whole headache. Yeah, it sounds like HBO's got a pretty interesting little lineup
Yeah.
of stuff coming up for 2021. There's a new like Godzilla King Kong movie coming out. I think like this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So that one should be good. Apparently, it's getting good reviews so far. I'm really excited for us to review Mortal Kombat that comes out. I
Yeah.
think April like 16th or something, mid-April.
Something like that. We've got Dune coming out, which looks like it's going to be good. Um,
Yeah, so it's like it's an interesting sort of thing because you look at Warner Brothers kind of 2021 slate and you're like, huh, a lot of really like nostalgic stuff, not a lot of like new ideas. So I don't
that's
know.
not just.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not just
it's,
like the way they're marketing everything.
yeah, it's not just relegated to Warner Brothers. It seems to
Yeah,
be everybody. I mean, we've got Cobra Kai on Netflix, which is good.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I don't know how Sony wiggled that out of Columbia Pictures, but
absolutely.
yeah, they did a pretty good job with it. But we're seeing a lot of that. It seems like everything that was big in the 80s or 90s, they
Especially like the 80s
are
nostalgia.
yeah, they're pushing hard for. I
Yeah,
mean, we had Wonder Woman 1984. We've got
Thor
Stranger
1983.
Things. I mean,
Yeah,
Stranger Things kind of kicked that all off because they
really.
realized nostalgia sells.
Yeah, like American Horror Story is one of their most recent seasons. Was like set as just like a throwback to like 80s horror slasher films. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
and didn't somebody bring back Tales of the Crypt or talking about it? I think
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember seeing something about that. I don't know if that's ever been done or if they're producing it or what, but yeah, they're trying to do that.
yeah. That's what I
Um,
said. Everything's just going back to
it,
in
it's
time.
it's just something that cracked me up when they started rolling out like the HBO Max like commercials, like everything straight to streaming and in theaters at the same time, and they're showing like back to back like half a dozen or more movies at the same time. It's like none of these are like original ideas at all. Just to see them all like just put out there.
Yeah,
It's
I'll give Warner Brothers credit though. At least they're not charging you $30 like Disney is. They're like, oh well, you've got our Disney Plus stuff here, but we need another
yeah,
$30 for you to watch this movie.
well, I don't know, man. I think we pretty much kind of summed up everything with Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
you got anything else to sort of add to that? Or you think that pretty much ties a big bow on this?
I don't know. They closed up a lot of loopholes. They did leave some things open for debate and question, which makes me
They
hope
did.
that we have a Justice League 2 because I'd like the answers to that. I don't want it to be one of those things like we get with Lost. 10 years later, they finally tell us the true ending. Um,
Yeah, yeah, they definitely left the door open for sequels big time. Like to the point that I'm like, well, I kind of hope they do this now because if they never make any more, it's gonna be a bummer that like this movie that was as good as it was ends on a cliffhanger that's never gonna be resolved. So who knows?
yeah.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, I don't know. I think we definitely started our movie reviews off on a good note. So
yeah, good
yeah,
movie.
we'll be popping back in here during the kind of like should be a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, we'd love to hear from anybody in the comment section. If you guys have anything to say about this particular movie or kind of anything down the line coming up with like Warner Brothers or DC movies, anything like that. If you enjoy this, definitely be sure to like and share. And yeah, hop over. We also have kind of like an update if you're into UK sports. We have a kind of an update on where things are right now with the off season kicking off over the last couple weeks. So definitely check all that stuff out. We'll try to keep rolling like regular content, everything like that out in the coming weeks. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, go Big Blue. We'll see you next time.